countdown. Listen. And look at this scene as the Giants defeat the Minnesota Vikings 24-23. Alex Webster on the shoulders in a tremendously emotional thing here at Yankee Stadium. With the Giants getting off with a stunning upset over Minnesota 24-23.
Well, hello. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to check out this video. And welcome to the Gridiron. And before I get started, I want to just say thank you so much to everyone out there who's been watching my videos. Thank you. If you can give this video a thumbs up or maybe leave a comment down below or possibly share this video, it would mean so much to me. But just, at least, anyway, thank you so much for just taking time out of your day to check out this video. Thank you. Well, Xavier McKinney got the won the NFC Defensive Player of the Week. All right, and you know, I can't argue with that at all. Xavier McKinney, or Zay, I guess that must be his nickname, Zay. He graded out. Okay, he was the highest graded defensive player of anybody. Okay, graded out at 94.5. Right, anybody at all in the NFL. I mean, obviously, 2 interceptions, the pick 6, absolutely huge. Now, you know, he's starting to climb up the, you know, the I don't even call it the leaderboard. He's in the top 18 of all the safeties in the NFL, okay, as far as with PFF, as far as an overall grade. Top 18, right? His grade is a 72.6, right? Not too bad. I mean, he's only played in, I think, 15 games so far. So, he's in the top 18 after 15 games. Looks like we got ourselves a winner there. So another, you know, obviously we had Landon Collins, okay, back in 2015. We got him in the second round, you know. We got Xavier McKinney in the second round here. So it looks like, you know, another good solid, very solid safety that we got in the second round. Of course, you know, against the Raiders on Sunday, he had 7 tackles. He had 4 solo tackles. He had the 2 picks. He had one, obviously ran 1 back for a touchdown, and then he had 2 passes defense. So he had a fantastic game. Now he has 5 picks, okay, in his first 15 career NFL games. Okay, so he's the first Giant player since Will Allen did it in 2001 to have 5 interceptions in their first 15 NFL games. Okay, and as a matter of fact, there's only been 4 guys in the history of the New York Giants to have 5 interceptions in their first 15 games. All right, Xavier McKinney did it. All right. Then you got Will Allen did it in 2001. Then you got Terry Jackson. Yeah, he did it in 1978. Actually, he had 7 interceptions in 1978, Terry Jackson. And he had, I think he was 1978 to 1985 he played. He had 28 interceptions, you know, in his career. So, I mean, you know, very respectable. You know, 28 interceptions. The other guy was Mike Dennis, and I was kind of like, Mike Dennis? I'm like, yeah, that wasn't really ringing a bell. Mike Dennis did it in 1980. He was an undrafted free agent out of, I think, Wyoming. And he did it in 1980. He played 13 games. He had 5 interceptions. Okay. Then he only played 4 more years after that. After 1984, I think he was... He played with, I think, the Jets and the Chargers in 1984, and after that, he was out of football. But so he had 5 interceptions his first season. All right. The next 4 seasons, he only had 1 more interception. That was in 1983. That was Bill Parcells' first year as a coach. And I guess after that season was over, I guess Bill Parcells just saw enough of him and said, see you later, we don't need you anymore. But so anyway, so Xavier McKinney, Will Allen, Adoree Jackson, and Mike Dennis. Only 4 New York Giant players ever to get 5 interceptions in their first 15 games. So very, very, very impressive. And hopefully, Xavier McKinney will get many more interceptions. James Bradbury did. There was an article I saw said that Xavier McKinney kind of saved him, and he said he was kind of like smiling, because he got burned on a double move. Now this is the one that Carr threw it like down by the sideline, kind of threw it up in the air down by the sideline, and Bradbury had the receiver got behind him. He got burned. Apparently, he said it was a double move, and he said Zay saved me. Because the receiver was behind him, so now was the ball far enough down where the receiver could have caught it? It looked like it might have had to slow up a little bit, but anyway, Xavier McKinney came over and just jumped up, got the ball, and picked it off. But Bradbury was burned. All right, so good thing for Xavier. Now, so obviously, the more experience he gets, more knowledge and all that and everything, better he's going to get, especially playing alongside Logan Ryan. Logan Ryan, I think, he's in his 9th season. Xavier McKinney, obviously, is in his 2nd season. So, we got a nice, good tandem of safeties there, even without Jabrill Peppers. So, congratulations to Xavier McKinney. Fantastic. Certainly well-deserved award that he won. Then I saw another article and it said, I'll leave the link in the description box. You can check this out. And I'm like, the state of the NFC East. And it said, could the Giants possibly make the playoffs? And I'm like, playoffs?
What's that? Playoffs? Don't talk about playoffs. You kidding me? Playoffs? I just hope we can win a game. Another game.
That's exactly what I told him, Jim. Thank you. Playoffs. I'm like, wow. I think we're, I mean, anything's possible. But I'm like, so I started reading the article and all. So like, all right, okay, I'll play along. What's the article about? So, you got they just went to last year. They went to this 7 each, conference got 7 teams who are going to make the playoffs. Okay, and then they got the top seeded team has got the bye. The other 6 teams, it's just pretty cool because you got 3 games on Saturday, you got 3 games on Sunday. It's like the shootout, the Wild Wild West. 6 playoff games over the weekend. It's pretty crazy. I kind of liked it the way it was before. When you had the top 2 seeded teams had the bye, the 4 teams below that, played. The wild card. You got 2 games on Saturday, 2 games on Sunday. It was like that for the longest time. It's all about money, Now the thing is with that is now you're going to start obviously getting teams in there to, hey, you're going to get teams that are, obviously under 500 in the playoffs. Really. It's kind of like college football. It's like, if you win 6 games, you could be 6-6. Hey, you're eligible for a bowl. Hey, congratulations. It's like, really? It's like, a college team, but I guess if they win, they can win a coin flip, They can maybe lose all their football games, but hey, you won a coin toss. You're eligible for a bowl game. It's like, really there's so many bowl games out there. It's not even funny. I don't even hardly watch any of it. It's just so saturated. When I first started watching, obviously back in the 70s, early 70s, there was only so many bowl games. There was teams that were, maybe 7-3 or 8-2 at the worst. If you were 6-4 or something like you weren't in no bowl. If you 7-3 would be like maybe the absolute worst. Now your teams are like 6-6. Getting, what a joke. But anyway, so there's 7 teams in the NFC that are going to make it. All right. So if we look at the way it is right now, okay, you can kind of say like the Cowboys All right, even after their loss to the Broncos, they were 6-2. The Bucs are 6-2. Packers are 7-2. All right, you got the Cardinals are 8-1. The Rams are 7-2. Okay, so you got to give it pretty much like those 5 teams. All right, I mean, unless one of them just totally self-destructs, I can't. I mean, unless if something happens to Aaron Rodgers and he doesn't play anymore, I can see that maybe the Packers kind of self-destructed. But I mean, you got to figure the Bucs, the Packers, the Cowboys, the Cardinals, and the Rams. The way it is so far, I mean, you got to figure those 5 teams. You got really kind of entrenched in there because as far as playoffs, that only leaves 2 more spots. Okay, for teams in the playoffs, right? So, I mean, the Saints are 5-3, the Falcons are 4-4. Panthers are 4-5, right? I mean, the Vikings are 3-5. The Bears are 3-6. You got a lot of teams that are like under 500. Okay, the Seahawks and the 49ers are 3-5. You got a lot of teams with just like 3 wins. You got the Eagles with 3, the Giants with 3, the Vikings with 3, the Bears with 3, the 49ers with 3, and the Seahawks with 3. You got 6 teams that only have 3 wins, right? Then you got the Falcons and the Panthers only have 4 wins. So if you start looking at it, right? The Giants, are in that pack with teams with 3 and 4 wins. They only have to jump over one of those teams. So I mean, it's possible. Now the Cowboys, you got to figure. You got to give them, as of right now, the way it's looking, you got to give them the East. All right, they got to play the Falcons, and they got to play at the Chiefs. They got to play the Raiders, the Saints, the Washington football team. Then they got the revenge game against the Giants. Then they got the Washington football team again. They got the Cardinals. Then they got the Eagles, right? So there might be a few losses in there, but is it going to be enough for the Giants to catch them? Probably not, unless Dak can't play. Dak can't play. If he keeps playing the way he did over this past weekend or so, the Giants would have to go on an unbelievable run in the second half, and the Cowboys would have to pretty much self-implode, and I don't see that happening. Then you got the Eagles, right? The Eagles are 3-6. I'm not impressed with them at all. I mean, they had a couple good games. They beat the crap out of the Falcons and they beat the crap out of the Lions. Other than that, they can run the ball. Their passing game is really pretty sad. They got to play. They got to play at Denver. Then they got to play the Saints. They got to play the Giants. Okay, then they got to play the Jets. And they got to play the Washington football team. Then they got to play the Giants again. Then they got to put the Washington football team again. Then they got to end the season with the Cowboys. I mean, so they're 3-6. I can easily see at least another 3 or 4 losses in there, because they're just so inconsistent. They got 8 games left. I can't see them running off, being like 6-2 or anything like that. I mean, I could see maybe 4-4 for them at the best, which would leave them at like 7-10 and out of the playoffs, right? Then you got the Washington football team. They're 2-6. I can't see any way that they're gonna. They got to play the Buccaneers, and they got to play the Panthers. They got to play the Seahawks. They got to play the Raiders. They got to play the Cowboys twice. They got to play the Eagles twice, and then they got to play the Giants. So there's no way that in heck the Washington football team is gonna go anywhere. As I said, the Eagles, their passing game is pretty bad, pretty sad. I mean, I don't know if it's bad play calling or they don't have any. The receivers are not really special, or is it Jalen Hurts is not it's not Tom Brady as far as throwing the football. I mean, he can run, but he's not the most accurate passer in the league, shall we say? All right, but I saw in this article here, they have it was just weird. I mean, the Eagles known for their pass rush. Their front 4 is always apply some pressure. Their pass rush is really they have 4 games so far this year where they have no sacks, including 3 out of the last 4 games they have no sacks in 3 out of the last 4 games, and this is the only the 4th time, all right, in the Eagles' history that they have gone 3 out of 4 games with no sacks. All right, this is the 4th time in the history of the Eagles that they've gone. They had a stretch of 3 out of 4 games where they had no sacks. All right, 1983, 2006, and 2012. They had stretches where they went 3 games out of 4 where they had no sacks. I mean, that's sad. Even the Giants' pressure is better than that. And this is the first time in the Eagles' history, okay, that they've had 4 no-sack games in the first 9 games of the season. First time in their history. I mean, their pass rush is horrible. Absolutely horrible. Now, Justin Herbert, okay, he completed 80% of his passes. This is the 5th quarterback, Justin Herbert, the 5th quarterback, all right, to complete 80% of his passes against the Eagles this season. 5th, all right. Between 1950 and 2020, 70 years, 1950 to 2020, 70 years, the Eagles have only allowed 6 quarterbacks, 6 times in 70 years for a quarterback to complete 80% or more of his passes. 6 times in 70 years. It's happened 5 times this year alone. I mean, their defense is horrible. They got three as of right now, 3, I think, top 14 picks, top 14, top 11 picks or something next year. They're gonna get some good studs next year. I mean, they need it. They need it without question. I mean, their defense is horrible. I mean, it's laughable, really, really laughable. But I mean, you know, so I can't see the Eagles, you know, going on any type of a run. I mean, I just saw some of those stats, and it was just simply amazing. Now we go over some of the other teams, okay, that are in there. I mean, like you got the you know, I said the Washington football team. They're 2-6. They should be 1-7. The Giants really beat them. If the refs didn't blow the call, the Washington football team should be 1-7. But I mean, I can't see any way in heck out of their remaining 9 games where they're going to win any more than 3 games or maybe 4. So there's not, I can't see them coming up with a winning record at all. I mean, they'll be maybe 7-10 if they're lucky, 6-11, 7-10 if they're lucky. So they're pretty much out of the playoffs. Okay, and you got the Bears. The Bears are 3-6. All right. Obviously, we want the Bears to lose as many games as possible because that gives the Giants a better first-round pick. But the Bears got to play the Ravens. They got to play the Packers. They have to play the Giants, okay? You know, then they have to play the Cardinals, and they got to play the Seahawks. So the Bears got some tough games. So 3-6, the rest of their games, I can see them easily losing another 4 games. So that would put them maybe at 7-10 at the absolute best. That's not going to get in the playoffs, okay? You got the Saints now, okay? The Saints are 5-3, but the Saints got to play the Titans, they got to play the Eagles, they got to play the Bills, they got to play the Cowboys, they got to play the Jets, but then they got to play the Bucks, the Dolphins, the Panthers, and the Falcons, okay? So the Saints are 5-3, all right? But with Trevor Siemian, Taysom Hill, are those guys going to lead them to the promised land? I mean, they got 9 games left. I mean, I could see them, you know, if they don't get better quarterback play, if they don't get Phillip Rivers or somebody out of retirement, they may not go 5-4 the rest of the season. You know, I mean, they might go 4-5. They might go 3-6. So they might wind up 8-9, 9-8, maybe 10-7 at the absolute best. But you know, with Trevor Siemian as your quarterback, you better do some hoping and praying, okay? You got the Falcons who are 4-4. All right, they got to play the Cowboys, the Patriots, the Jaguars, the Bucks, the Panthers, the 49ers, the Lions, the Bills, and the Saints. So I can see them maybe going 4-5 or so. That would leave them at 8-9. The problem is with that is if the Giants wind up tied with the Falcons have the tiebreaker because the Falcons beat us. They shouldn't have, but they did. All right. So the Falcons, you know, might be 8-9. Then you got the Panthers who are 4-5. They got to play the Cardinals, the Washington football team, the Dolphins, the Falcons, the Bills, the Bucks, the Saints, and the Bucks again. I can easily see them going like 4-4, maybe even worse. You know, so that would leave them maybe 8-9. They would be under 500. Okay. Then you got the Seahawks. You got Russell Wilson coming back, right? But the Seahawks are 3-5. They're going to play the Falcons, the 49ers, the Texans, the Rams, the Bears, the Lions, the Cardinals, the Washington football team, and they're going to play the Cardinals again. So, I mean, they're 3-5. You know, they would have, out of those last 9 games, they would have to be 6-3 just to have a winning record. They got some tough games there, you know. So, if they go 5-4, right, that will leave them 8-9. Once again, they might be under 500, okay? Then you got the 49ers who are 3-5. I mean, they just don't look very good this year. They're going to play the Rams, the Jaguars, the Vikings, the Seahawks, the Bengals, the Falcons, the Titans, the Texans, and the Rams. I mean, if they went 5-4, they're 3-5 right now. If they go 5-4 those last 9, which would be pretty impressive, they would be 8-9. Once again, under 500. Then I'm just like throwing the Vikings in there, right? The Vikings are 3-5. I mean, I can't see them pulling anything out, period. They're going to play the Chargers, the Packers, the 49ers, the Lions, the Steelers, the Bears, the Rams, the Packers, and the Bears again. I mean, even if they go 5-4 out of those last 9, okay, they'd be 8-9. So, I mean, the 49ers at best might be 8-9. The Vikings might be 8-9. The Panthers might be 8-9 maybe at their best. The Falcons might be 8-9. The Bears, I mean, they won't even be 8-9. You know what I mean? So you got maybe the Seahawks might be 9-8, 8-9. You got the Saints might be 9-8, depending upon what kind of quarterback play they get. So that leaves us up to the Giants. The Giants are going to have to go 6-2 to be 9-8. Now, we're going to play the Eagles twice. Haven't swept the Eagles since 2007. All right? Some reason, we should have swept them last year, but Evan Ingram took care of that. Okay? Remember that game? So to sweep the Eagles, it's going to be tough. It doesn't matter if we might be better than them. One thing happens to the other, and we just can't seem to beat the Eagles 2 times in a season. It's been 14 years since we've done it. We're going to play the Washington football team. That one we could win. We're going to play the Bears. That one we could win. We're going to play the Dolphins. That one we could win. We're going to play the Chargers. In Los Angeles, that would certainly be difficult, especially against Justin Herbert, but they're not world beaters, right? We do have to play the Buccaneers. That's going to be very difficult to win. Then we got to play the revenge game against the Cowboys, all right? The Cowboys are a better team than we are. Will they be healthy? Sometimes it's not who you play, sometimes it's when you play them. Who's banged up on their team? Who's banged up on your team? But for the Giants to go 6-2, it would make them 9-8. I mean, anything's possible, guys. But I mean, are they going to really go 6-2? Are you really going to depend upon this team the way every now and then they lay an egg? Should it beat Washington football team? Should it beat the Chiefs? Should it beat the Falcons? And they wind up losing to them. Do you think this team's really going to go 6-2 and wind up 9-8? And that may not even be good enough. I mean, the only way they would almost lock themselves in almost for a wild card berth. They would have to go almost 7-1. That would put them at 10-7. And I don't see any way in heck they're going to go 7-1, much less 6-2. I'm thinking maybe at the absolute best, they would go maybe 5-3. Maybe they can beat the Dolphins, the Bears, the Washington football team, the Eagles. Maybe they lose to the Bucs, they lose to the Chargers, they lose to the Cowboys, maybe they lose to the, maybe the Eagles again, maybe they'd be 4-4. That would leave them maybe 7-10. Maybe if they're best, maybe they'd be 5-3. Maybe they beat the Eagles twice. They beat the Dolphins, they beat the Bears, they beat the Washington football team, and then they lose 3. Right? So they go 5-3 the last 8 the way they did last year. But they'll still be 8-9. Probably out of the playoffs. So and it can happen, sure. As I said, I'll leave a link to this in the description box. You can check that article out. But I mean, 5-3 or 6-2 would be great, but I don't really see it happening. Well, as always, guys, thank you so much for taking time any day to check out this video. You guys stay safe out there and go Giants.